feeling it's going to get really loud in here tonight because our next match is between the Seoul Dynasty and another hometown hero, the LA Valiant. Now, this is a very, very important match with playoff implications that will determine the course of this weekend's championship bout. So for those of you who aren't familiar with how that works, let's take a closer look at the stage playoff format.
The Overwatch League enters the final week of Stage 1. It's time to get you set up for the stage playoffs. First, here's how it all works. The Overwatch regular season is broken into 4 5-week stages. At the conclusion of each individual stage, there is a stage playoff, pitting the top 3 teams in the standings against each other. For teams with the same record, the tiebreakers are cumulative map differential, followed by head-to-head map differential, then head-to-head record. Following match play on the last Saturday of each stage, the second and third place finishers will face off for a chance to face the #1 team later that night for the crown of Stage 1 champion. So what's at stake other than the bragging rights? Try $100,000 to the winning team and $25 grand to the runner-up. It's going to be an exciting finish to the first stage of the Overwatch League.
And we are back. As you just saw in that video, things are starting to heat up here at the end of Stage 1. It's the final week of action, 10 more matches, and already we've seen 2 of them. Welcome back, guys. I'm your host, Chris Puckett. At the full desk now, we got Crumbs, Reinforce, and Zoe back with us. And this matchup has this whole stadium sold out. Everybody has been waiting for this moment. Crumbs, starting with you. Why were you so pumped when you saw that the Valiant were facing off against the Dynasty here to kick off the week?
Well, it's because the story that these 2 teams have been taking to get to this point, the Seoul Dynasty is basically mind-gaming themselves. They took a hard loss against the London Spitfire. They had a close game against the Outlaws, and now they are basically being gatekeepers to a whole heap of teams right behind them. And then you have the Valiant that got smashed by the Boston Uprising, but also seems to be one of the better teams in the league that's still trying to find its footing. So there's such a discrepancy between where these 2 teams think they are and where they actually are that when they combat here, not only is it going to be close, but it's also going to impact everyone else.
Johnny, coming into this regular season, everyone said Seoul Dynasty is the team to beat. It's the most successful players in Overwatch history. It's very short history so far. Now they're coming into the match at 6-2. They had 2 losses, but a big win last week over the Houston Outlaws. How good is this team looking coming into today?
Well, how good? They're looking pretty mediocre for Seoul Dynasty standards, right? Because when we think about Seoul Dynasty, as you said, they are probably one of the best teams in the world in Overwatch history, of course. So I think that the coaches so far have gotten a bit ahead of themselves, and they have maybe flexed a bit with too many substitutions. So in the past, we've seen them be very good at dive, for example. But now we see a lot of Wicked on the Junkrat, and we see Bunny and Munchkin try to flex onto the Tracer. And so there's a lot of question marks about this setup and how they're utilizing their substitutions thus far.
A lot of questions around them, and they are the #3 team right now. Remember, only 3 teams break into the end of the Stage 1 playoffs. And so as we take a look here at the league standings, we know it's not just the Valiant fans that are cheering on our green squad today. They've got a lot of people like the Philadelphia Fusion, some Boston Uprising players. A lot of people are going to be hoping the LA team walks away with the victory. Who do you think is the biggest threat to jump into that top 3?
Honestly, it's so hard to tell because each of those teams have shown us like really strong performances, but they're also all underperformed in instances where they really shouldn't have. So it will be really hard to actually pick a favorite here.
Valiant is looking for a big match win, and if they could get it done in a 4-0, that would be huge for the map count at the end of it all. It's time to get this match started. LA, are you ready? Let's make some noise for the hometown squad. It's the LA Valiant. Soon is back in the building, and this squad is coming in with a 5-3 record. They had a big 4-0 sweep over the Philadelphia Fusion last week, but then crumbled at the hands of Boston.
And Unko is back in the lineup, and that might just be exactly what they need, because to take down these top teams like the Seoul Dynasty, you don't just need teamwork, which is what the Valiant pride themselves in. They're going to need a Super Saiyan performance out of any one of their players. They have the stars to do it. It's just a matter of getting there.
Yeah, so I'm looking out for the support players, of course, in this matchup, because we saw that the Seoul Dynasty, they struggled against the New York Excelsior with the great Zenyatta and Donak, of course. So I think that Anko and Kariv can actually make a lot of problems for Seoul Dynasty.
And I did get to talk to the team, of course, prior to the match once again. The coaches told me that one of the biggest problems against the Boston Uprising was that everyone from the team made a lot of mistakes. And Boston Uprising, of course, didn't hesitate to actually punish those mistakes. Now they have Anko back, and I think they're gonna look much improved. And also they told me they need to, you know, keep their composure and most of all stick to their strats whenever things aren't going their way.
Another big key feature in this lineup is Silk Thread. He was missing against the Uprising. Look for him to go off today. It's now time, though, to introduce the squad that is currently in third place. Please welcome to the stage, the Seoul Dynasty. We've called them the greats, the best on the planet, but right now they are the gatekeeper. At 6-2, they control their destiny. A win over the Valiant today is going to help further their case to make a run in these playoffs. As we take a look at the lineup, you see all smiles as they head to the stage. Zoe, how did Seoul prep for this match in particular? This is a huge week 5.
It really is, but they already had very important matches like the one against London Spitfire where they swapped Guido in for Ryu Jaehong, and that didn't work out at all. They wanted to have it as a special strat, so I asked them for their game plan coming into this one, and they said they took a little bit of a different preparation this time around. They're just going to focus on their own game and general things rather than prepping for a specific team.
And that's a bit odd, right? Because we're seeing Guido in the starting lineup. There's no Toby, and Toby is one of these historic players in Overwatch history, of course, playing on his Lucio and Mercy. So we're seeing Guido instead. We have a bit of question marks. Who are we going to see on the support roles this game? So while they say that, yes, they're going to work on what they know best, but we're not seeing it in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I'm starting to have a feeling that this team's worst enemy is their own heads with these substitutions. But you know that when the black comes on those screens, this is the Seoul Dynasty, and they are here to play regardless of who is being fielded.
I'm so excited right now. Seoul Dynasty, they control it all. Valiant trying to steal the match away. Let's talk about playstyle, starting with you, Zoe. We've seen so many different looks from Seoul. Valiant, we know one thing is always going to be stable, and that is their Tracer and Widowmaker soon. How do you compare the overall play styles?
You know, actually, when I talked to the coach from the Seoul Dynasty, they told me that they feel like in terms of playstyle and strategy, both teams actually play very similar. They said the use of the Tracer as well as the behavior of their tanks is very similar, and according to the coaches, they also play a very similar tempo.
Crumbs, as we take a look at this matchup, let's tell the story of Seoul. If Seoul is going to help lock in a top 3 spot, if they get another match today, what are the keys to victory?
Well, part of their struggles came out of the tanks. The tanks, I feel like, we're not respecting the Tracers too much, and you got to throw some respect to Soon. He is a great Tracer, and he's going to be punishing Miro or Kuki, whoever gets started on the Winston, to make sure that they are not going to be creating the space for the DPS. And on top of that, right players on the right maps. And already, I think we might be off to a bad start on that one, because I'm not sure why Guido is being started over Toby when Toby and Jaehong had such stellar synergy. But what we saw with Guido and Toby wasn't there. Maybe Guido and Jaehong somehow have developed an amazing synergy in the past week.
I think it may be Guido Soldier 76. Johnny, we'll see as this match plays out, but let's tell the story of the Valiant. If the Valiant are going to come in and wreck house today, how do they get the job done?
You know who it is. It's Soon. They got to support Soon in this matchup, because I think he is instrumental to peel off the Tracers of the Seoul Dynasty. Put that Harmony Orb on top of him so he can wreak havoc. And then play methodically, okay? Don't rush things. Usually when we see agilities in the lineup, they go a bit too aggressive, and that's not too good if Wikid is going to get subbed in on the Junkrat, perhaps. So I like that they're playing with Silk Thread a bit more methodically, setting up the dives properly, and then shut down Flera. Flera is the best player in Overwatch League thus far, so you need to shut him down and not give him any space. Come on, Fate.
Johnny just said Seoul has the best player in the entire league in the lineup right now. Let's see what he brings to the table as we send it backstage. Mani, Doa, let's kick this one off.
All right, I am more than happy to do that, Puckett, as we have Seoul Dynasty taking on the LA Valiant. And this is a huge match with big playoff implications. Basically, if Seoul wins today, then both Valiant and Philly are eliminated. So it's not just LA fans cheering for Valiant this time around.
It isn't, but what's exciting is that both of these teams have their fate in their own hands, even though fate is on the Valiant.
I mean, one of these teams has fate, you know, more literally than others, really, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and we are going to Eichenwald, and I'm so happy to see Silk Thread and UNKOE back, and I'm so happy to see Silk Thread and Eichenwald because I have been nonstop complaining. Why isn't Silk Thread playing in Eichenwald? I think his hero pool is better for it than Agility's. Now we actually get to see if this theory is true.
I thought you were going to say, I've been nonstop complaining, and I'd also like to talk about this match right now.
I've been non-stop complaining because that's what I do.
There you go.
But getting into this one, I am excited to see what happens here. Fleta, obviously an exceptional Pharah player. To give you some quick stats on that, right now Fleta is averaging 23% of his rockets hit, while the league average is 18%, so he's 5% above average. He has been phenomenal on this hero. And it should be interesting. We see a lot of Tracer and Pharah play on both attack and defense on point A. As the desk mentioned, we will not be necessarily seeing the Junkrat unless Fleta pulls it out on point B or C.
Interesting stuff on the support side of both teams as well. UNKOE finally back for Valiant. That's definitely going to be a boon for this team. And on the Seoul Dynasty side, now subbing in Guido for Toby, which I think makes a lot more sense than subbing him in for Jaehong. Toby has had a hard time staying alive on the Mercy lately.
I think you look at Souls last week and you really point to Miro and to Toby as maybe potential issues. Jaehong will be playing the Mercy this time around, but they were, as you said, they were dying first in a lot of these fights. We'll see if this is going to make a big difference for them.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, Jaehong certainly a threat on anything that shoots at the other team, but Mercy-wise, his positioning from playing so much Ana, so much Zen is generally pretty good too. So we'll see if this combination of supports works out for Seoul a little bit better.
We are going to see Kariv on the Widowmaker. He's just going to take one shot probably. Nope, not even going to do that. So
all right, then. Here we go. Soon on the attack already on that Tracer flanking around the side. Seoul playing the defense up a little bit, guarding that point. Soon poking at the pharmacy.
Yeah, not going to be playing the Winston on defense here, so going to be playing with sight lines a little bit more, trying to position themselves more dynamically. And Fleta is going to take out Silk Thread right away.
Yeah, he's down early. Seoul pushing ahead now that they've eliminated that Pharah, and looks like Valiant has to back out a little bit.
Seoul has to be careful. They do have a negative win rate on this map. They're 1-2 overall, so it hasn't been one of their most powerful maps in the pool.
True. Very true. Fate a little bit on the low side, has to back up and get some heals. Silk Thread, meanwhile, trying to avoid getting picked off by Fleta this time. Fleta is deadly with those air-to-air rockets. You know, for a player that takes so many of those air-to-air battles, his accuracy is still crazy. Like we know, now Valiant attacking in. What did I say, man? Fleta just turning around, picking Silk Thread out of the sky. Kariv brings UNKOE back into action, but it doesn't matter. Valiant has to back away again.
And as you say, the air-to-air has been deadly. We look at Seoul's last match against Houston, and Fleta was dominant in the Pharah versus Pharah battles.
Well, they've just lost Fate on the side of that fight, so yeah, I think Valiant needs to back away. And look at this, while Seoul has had such a solid defense, they've also built up nearly all of their ultimates, and on the Valiant side, they've barely got the self-destruct up for Envy, rather. Fate's close to his, Kariv used his ultimate, but Seoul is ready to defend this one efficiently for a long time, it seems like.
And they're still playing the game of float around the tower on the Pharahs, as we see basically Seoul is just... Oh
Whoa,
my,
that's the third time? What? Fleta! Man, that guy with the sign that said Fleta is the meta was not lying.
He's not done yet, still going to be trying to chase down UNKOE here. UNKOE will escape with his life.
Dude, that is the third time Fleta has killed Silk Thread air to air, and you can tell he's just got Silk Thread's movements downloaded. He waited for Silk Thread to use the boost and then led him with the rocket so perfectly. Like, this guy is incredible to watch, Pharah v Pharah.
Absolutely he is, and we're still not seeing any switches yet. Seoul only using the barrage to counteract that last push.
Yeah, if you got a chance to kill the Mercy right after the Pharah goes down, go for it, right? Zumba, meanwhile, chasing the hallway, maybe in a little bit of trouble here. He's going to go ahead and try to shove the D.Va back out as it's exploding. Doesn't get any kills, but he does stay alive. Guido brought back up by Jaehong again, and now Fleta in yet another air-to-air fight, taking a lot more damage. So Soon gets involved, and Fleta does go down before being rezzed again here. So another chance for him. They're chasing down Kariv, and they get him. Kariv out of the way. One tick taken by Valiant in the meantime. But without that Mercy, do they have the staying power? Maybe with these kills, now they do.
Silkthread needs to get out of there so his team can reset, actually, but he's going to get a D-Mech on the way there.
Hey, that's not bad at all. So the taken down, and it looks like Valiant may have this one.
Yeah, they're going to get charging back, so the fadeaway D-Mech, very important for Valiant.
Yeah.
We're going to see one last attack here from Soul.
That's right, they're going to come in, try to delay a little bit more. They've got the Primal Rage, and soon taken out by Fleta. This is actually a real opportunity for Soul here. And Fleta pops that barrage, takes down Silkthread one more time as the rest of his team charges in. They've got Jehong there, keeping everybody healed.
Kareev has the Valk, but he just doesn't have enough people to res right now. He's heading back to his spawn. 10 seconds left.
What a
Soon is
crazy
still
hold.
around the backside. He can still stall this out.
96.5% taken by Valiant, but they haven't taken it yet. Bunny still hunting. He might have to use that Pulse Bomb on Fate instead. No, taken out by Unko. Snipes him from the side. Soon goes down in the meantime, too. They've got the self-destruct from Zunba, so Soul with an opportunity to hold here as Valiant desperately tries to take point A. Fate barely gets out with his life, and Unko going wild on that Zen. A couple kills for him. Fleta and Guido, here comes the self-destruct. Envy gonna get D-Mech by that one, but it looks like Soul may need to back off. They may have lost this at the last minute.
All right, Bunny's gonna come back in. Miro and Jehong are on their way. That's not it.
Oh, it's not it, no. Miro gets there just in time, but Jehong can't keep him healed. And that will be it now. Valiant finally gets it at the last possible second.
Credit to Silkthread, finally came up with the big play with the air-to-air kill onto Jehong to cut off the healing. And Valiant, we've seen this from them many times before. When the wick is burning, when they are in overtime, they do come up clutch.
Yeah. They are a clutch team. It's the other moments in the game that have been a bit more of a struggle recently.
It almost seems like they really need that fire under their ass
hello.
to make the aggressive plays.
Yeah. Well, Fleta's gonna make him settle for a rocket in the face instead. Kareev comes in with the resurrection, but Soul defending up front here. Unko was such a big part of how Valiant finally took point A here. I bet they're glad to have him back. Soon gets a kill on the Miro, and it looks like with those kills, they could get the payload moving now.
Yeah, both the Valkyries have been used. Miro has the Primal Rage. He's going to not use it right now. Go ahead and respawn. Wait to stall out. 1.5 minutes remaining. Only the Primal Rage up for Soul. Valiant has some tools, especially that Transcendence that they can work with.
Yep. Fleta is still on that Pharah for the moment. Getting closer to the ultimate, but you don't see the Pharah as often.
Bunny has been chased all the way back to the spawn of the Valiant by Soon, actually, so he's not going to be a big part of this engagement.
Interesting. Transcendence used by Unko. Gonna try to keep everybody up for the moment here. They gotta get back to that payload, though. Less than a minute remaining now for Valiant. Envy's gonna lob his self-destruct in there. Can he stay alive? He killed Fleta, picked him out of the air here. Gets remeked. And he might get the heals. I don't know, he's not getting enough right now. Might be okay. Meanwhile, Silkthread firing to the point. There's a barrage trying to take down Miro. Turns around. He's going to get Bunny as well before he's finally knocked out of the air by Miro.
And Soon,
Jehong down.
Soon gets Zunba too as he's using the self-destruct. So no remech now for the Soul Dynasty. Fleta is going to die as they float up to stop that barrage. And Valiant keep on moving.
Yep, that's right. Well, a little bit more of a delay again. They're trying to come in, but that should be... Oh, no, Zunba's back on the point. Guido down, though. Unko comes in with yet another kill. And I don't know, man. I don't think... Yeah, they can't hold it. There's point B. And so, 1:30 for Valiant to try to finish this attack run. They've been able to do it in overtime twice. Can they do it one more time?
And Bunny immediately onto the McCree. Fleta to the Junkrat. So the point C swaps coming through. Miro will switch to the Orisa. Trying to deal with some of these flankers with the McCree and the Junkrat. They will deal with the low ceiling as well for Silkthread in here. He's going to have to stay well back. He's getting damage boosted by Kareev right now. Just trying to get the damage into the front line.
Here we go. It's Valkyrie time as Kareev bring Fates back up again. Soon, 6 of Pulse Bomb to Miro. Something every Orisa is very experienced with. Zunba tries to get on the payload. He's going to get low. Heal just in time, actually. Miro brought back up, and now Bunny coming in on that McCree for the kill on Soon. Fate hiding around the side of the pillar, but still taking a ton of damage. Trapped back in the wall, doesn't have that Primal Rage to stay alive, but he's going to go back in, get that healing from the Transcendence just in time. And can they stay on the payload here? It looks like they can hang up there for the moment. Nice kill on the Fate as Bunny picks him out of the air with the Deadeye. Looks like Soul will hold for now. And there's not a lot of time left for Valiant. They need to scramble to get back to this payload.
And this is where you can get punished for not swapping. Only 20 seconds, and Soul with a much better composition for holding the linear path through this map right now. They're gonna try and post forward towards the choke point at the entrance to C.
Well, it's 10 seconds. Valiant needs to waste no time in getting onto the payload. Down to 5. Somebody's got to boost in there. Fate walking forward with the Orisa, trying to get the damage done. Fleta tries to get back up to the air. I think he got pulled down by the Hulk there. Valiant on the point. They've got the supercharger on the side of Seoul Dynasty, though. Soon comes in with the pulse bomb for the kill on Namiro, though. And there's the self-destruct. Oh, that's a good one. He gets Fleta. Transcendence comes in, though, from Guido. But has it done enough? Miro back up on the point, though, so that Orisa crucially still in the fight. Silk Thread gets brought back up, too, and it looks like Valiant maybe pulling out ahead of this one.
And Kariv had the later Valkyrie, so he's still going to be able to work his way through.
Yep.
Payload keeps moving, and it's now all about this overtime push. The Valiant have saved this for the last second.
Soon Badimek at the worst time. Can they even get there to stop it? Fleta dives in. Low health already. Jayhawk with the clutch heals, but it doesn't matter. They didn't stay on the payload. And so Valiant will manage to complete their attack run.
Valiant. Sometimes this team is just so frustrating, Doa. You see what they can do when the pedal is to the metal. They made it through that map, the rest of the point B and point C, very quickly after that long stall on A.
You know, I gotta say, too, when you look at this team, I feel like we're seeing Valiant at full strength right now. They've got Unko back. They've got Silk Thread in here on Eichenwald. This really feels like the LA Valiant firing on all cylinders in a way we haven't seen in a week or two.
Yeah, they've been streaky, so having all their roster options, I think, will help them. I assume we're going to see agilities at some point over the course of this series as well.
Yeah, well, that's usually been when they've wanted to use the Junkrat, the Roadhog. They'll bring him in. He is, ascended to be a little bit better on that than Silk Thread. So I'm sure we'll see him a little bit later here. On the Seoul Dynasty side, though, they nearly held, but got pushed back in overtime 3 times in a row. So now, obviously, a chance to attack here as we have a little bit of a pause for Seoul Dynasty. If they can finish with any time in the time bank left over, that would be pretty big for them.
Yeah, it would be. I think that we see, though, the Valiant has just been incredibly strong. Yeah. And what the Valiant does is that they don't tend to switch compositions very much over the course of a map. They tend to stick with that one thing and to just continue to try and execute it a little bit better on every push. And certainly worked out there for them. I thought it was going to be a little bit too late, but...
I mean, they certainly, I think, ran a little bit of a risk waiting so long on point C to change things. I mean, they were using something that generally doesn't work quite as well. Yeah. But, you know, I mean, they made it work. Credit to them. They were able to finish the map. That's what we were hoping to see from them. And Seoul already being given a little bit of a run for their money.
Yeah, now they're going to have to go on and attack it. Again, this isn't Seoul's best map, not by a long shot. So there's a real shot here, I think, for the Valiant to go ahead and take a starting victory, which they desperately need because they have to win the match tonight to keep in the stage playoff race.
You know, my question, though, now is if they lose Eichenwald, do you keep Guido in? Because the thing is if you're going to have Guido in order to have Jaehong play Mercy, I don't know if I honestly agree with that too much either. Because, yeah, Toby was having a little bit of trouble staying alive on the Mercy, dying with his ult up a lot of times. But Jaehong just brings that playmaking potential on the Zen.
That's such a hard call.
I think you got to go with the playmaking, you know. But let's take a look at another member of Seoul Dynasty and check out some of those Fleta replays, man. This guy was on fire on the Pharah, doing so much on point A. Again, just so many air-to-air eliminations versus Silk Thread.
I mean, Fleta must be a huge Daniel Day-Lewis fan because he was making the Phantom Thread in that first point.
Pretty much, yeah. The Thread Phantom. It's Oscar Steve. Good job, guy. Well, you know what?
What?
I say put Jaehong back on the Zenyatta. I don't know. If they lose Eichenwald, put him back on the Zen. Give him the chance to make those plays.
I don't know, Doa. I think that with the power of Valkyrie in the current meta, it's just more important right now to keep your Mercy alive. So much as I love watching Jaehong make sick plays, I think right now
Seoul needs him to make sick plays, though. You can't cage the tiger.
I think Seoul needs an Alive Mercy. That's what I think.
Maybe. Sometimes you do, and sometimes Jaehong just gets 3 kills.
That's true.
You know? What is more likely to happen? I think Jaehong's kills are a little bit more likely right now.
I don't know. I think he did a pretty good job of being an Alive Mercy.
Yeah, no, I mean, he totally does. Obviously, he can play the Mercy well, but I feel the playmaking potential is more important. But I'm not coaching Seoul, so there's only so much I can do. Seoul Dynasty on the attack right now. Jaehong, of course, on Mercy duty here, as Guido is in for Toby. He'll be playing the Zen. And it looks like it's going to be Fleta back on that Pharah one more time. No surprise really there.
Yeah, they're going to keep trying to push around the side right now. So similar style of defense from the Valiant. As we saw, Thread's got to be careful. He can't afford to die like he did on defense, like he did on attack. So it's going to be right in his face again.
I've never seen a Fleta, or I've never seen a Pharah. I've never seen a Pharah as good as Fleta in air-to-air. And I mean, soon they're just going to need to rename Pharah to Fleta, and then I'll be right.
Oh, Soon actually died to Guido.
Yeah, well, Guido.
He's not going to be rezzed. He's behind the entire team of the Dynasty, so that's going to be about it. But Unkko will respond in turn. That is a massive kill for the Valiant.
Zenyatta's are not putting up with Tracers on this match so far. Envy does take out Miro, though, so it looks like Seoul will have to pull back a bit.
Seoul is playing a very patient game on Eichenwald A on both attack and defense. What they're doing is they're sort of just rotating around the central tower and waiting for Fleta to get a kill or for the Valiant to make a mistake. In that case, it was Guido finding Soon in the back line, but they're just going to sit here and peek around until Fleta does something good.
Yeah, luckily for Valiant, Unkko was able to do the same thing on the Zenyatta. Fate a little bit low up top there. Fleta going for a little bit more air-to-air with the Pharah. He's got the barrage ready. Miro drops again. They get the DMAC onto Envy, but Fleta's in a bit of trouble. Gets far enough out of range to avoid that self-destruct. Envy nearly DMAC'd yet again. Zunba, meanwhile, does lose his D.Va mech. Bunny with 2 kills, though. He got Unkko and Soon. Maybe that's enough with this barrage from Fleta. We will see. Kareem brings Silk Thread back, though, so Valiant still in this one for the moment. That control percent did start to build just a bit. Now with Guido falling, I've got a feeling Valiant's going to hold this one a bit longer.
Yeah, Kareem is still in the Valkyrie. Miro's going to come back in with the Primal Rage. Respawn's coming through. Zunba back. Guido will be back shortly.
Soul's not giving up just yet here. Silk Thread down. And Jaehong able to keep everybody up. There's the Transcendence now for Unkko. But they're kind of just waiting it out. He's kind of just keeping everybody alive. Now Bunny's back on the point. Again, trying to find people in the house here. They've got Kareem trapped in there. No, he's still alive for the moment. I think, did he just
got stuck?
He got stuck. Unkko down as well. That both supports out of the way. So Seoul with a golden opportunity now to finally get point A going. And yeah, that'll be it. That's the kills they need. And a fist to the face. Fleta killing the other Pharah in every possible way, air-to-air.
That's right, but it's still a good hold from the Valiant, and Soon is still behind enemy lines. He's going to try and stall out this card. He's waiting until Seoul pushes forward. Watch. He's going to show up eventually here. He's so good at getting these little extra inches, and it's only Guido right now. He's stalling the cart right now.
Yep. You can see contested on your screen right now. Soon's back there being annoying. Had to back off, of course. There's only so much you can do, but Soon is definitely the sneakiest Tracer in Overwatch League as far as that kind of thing goes. Stalling enemy payloads, subtly pushing his own payload from time to time.
I mean, he nearly killed Guido, and he's still there. He's still right next to the payload. He's the only one. And look at how much he's delayed.
Yeah,
this payload actually bought about 20 seconds.
Oh, Zumba's had enough of that, though, but Soon is definitely becoming that annoying Tracer in all of our ladder games that just won't let you get out of spawn. Let it back there. Oh, Bunny goes down. The harassment not quite as effective there. And there's a barrage coming in. Whoa, but Unkko finishes him off, got the healing just in time from Kareem. And so will Fleta stay on the Pharah? That's what I'm kind of wondering about now. I think the res did come through, so nope, he didn't. It looks like he will for the moment.
All right, Valiant are using everything right now, though. They poured all of their ultimates into this fight. Silk Thread's gonna be back.
Silk Thread!
Gonna get pistol whipped.
Yeah, one clip from Bunny is about as much of it as he can take. And Miro brought back up again. It looks like finally Valiant ground down to the point where that payload can move, but Soon, again, still back there, still delaying. It finally gets started now.
Question is that going to be worth it from an ult economy perspective? Kariv came in with the Valkyrie. They managed to drain everything from Soul, though, so they should be in an okay position here to go ahead and hold on B. They don't have a lot of time left to work with, so Soul gonna be proactive right now and try and deal with people as they come through the doors.
That seems smart. Oh, flooded down though, Fate. Mario stomps him to death with the Winston, and Jaehong taken out by Silk Thread as well. So that's gonna be a full reset from Seoul Dynasty, and they're down to 1 minute 30 on the clock.
Man, Valiant looking great right now.
Oh yeah.
They've got a lot of ult percentage on Kariv already. Jaehong still struggling to get back to his Valkyrie. There's only 1 minute 15 remaining. So Valiant, they have all the advantages here. They have the positional advantages. They don't have to worry about getting through the doorways anymore. They can play on the bridge. Fate is sneaking up on the top side of your screen there because he wants to get some environmental kills. The Primal Rage if he can.
Oh, Soon's being sneaky too. Great check on Nagito. He got it, and there goes Jaehong too. Valiant, more than ready for this.
And they just walked straight into the trap from the Valiant. They were herded up the staircase by the Pulse Bomb, and then Fate was there to jump in and take out the second support. Great synergy between Fate and Soon. And now 30 seconds. Reeve has the Valk. Jaehong still needs 50%. Fleta has moved to Widowmaker. He knows he's just got to get some picks. He's got to click some heads right now if they want to push.
Yep, that's about it. It's going to come down to some picks and some pretty big fights from Soul.
Fate nearly got punished for being in the same position as he was last time.
Yeah, he's going to have to pop that Primal Rage a bit earlier than he would have wished, perhaps. He's going to go after a few members of Soul, though. Gets Miro. Oh man, they lost Miro again. Do they have the res? No, without Jaehong. Jaehong out of commission too. And Guido with the Transcendence. But once that ends, Valiant is going to be all over the members of Soul here. Fleta goes down due to Unko. Zenyatta versus Widow goes in the favor of the Valiant, and that will be about it. I don't know if Soul can get back there. No, Bunny tries, but that's it. Miro now on his own. He's got the Primal Rage, but he needs to stay on this payload here, waiting for Jaehong to come back in. The Mercy zoned out, killed immediately, and OT ticks away, and that's gonna be the LA Valiant winning Eichenwald.
And that is a great start to this series for the Valiant, the must-win team to keep themselves alive in the stage playoffs. And they really deliver. Great defense there from the side of Los Angeles, and Soul struggling to get past that point B. A lot of it, again, is the delays that the Valiant can cause because of Soon's awareness of the objectives.
Yeah, Soon was a huge part of that. Obviously, the annoyance, the ults sneaking around, and some flashy plays from Fleta, but they're gonna need more than that if they're gonna take out Valiant, it looks like. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with map 2 right after this.
Divide main, Tire main, I touch, everyone, I touch, come behind my shield, Okay, let's, Tire, watch out, Tire. Diva one, Macro main. I lose soon, Then right side, then right side. Macro. Jump red. Jump cut, Good job.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Hey there. Welcome back, everybody. The LA Valiant are up 1-0. They just took Eichenwald on Seoul Dynasty, which is crazy. Now we're getting ready to hop back into this pivotal match, but wait a second. Is that who I think it is? Could it be a global icon and a national treasure? Is that Golden Boy? That's Golden Boy. Everybody make some noise for Golden Boy. Make some noise for him. Hey, come over here, bro. Come over here. I haven't seen you since we traveled the world together and stuff, man. How's it going, man? How you doing? Bro? What are you doing here?
Well, you know, after the Overwatch World Cup, I went into hibernation. And I had to think about what I wanted to do with my life. And I realized that I needed to be right here in Los Angeles, California. Look at that. That's that Mick Foley cheap heat right there. And, you know, I'm really, really stoked to be here and excited. I'll be one of the hosts. When Puckett needs some much-needed rest, I will be here to cover his tracks.
Man, excellent, man. I tell you, I'm so happy to see you after us traveling the world together. How much does this mean to you after us doing that World Cup to be here now?
Oh, man, the World Cup was one of the greatest experiences of my entire career. And to, you know, I guess get asked back here again is like a humbling thing for myself. And I'm just stoked, man. I can't wait. I'll be on the desk tomorrow. So hopefully you guys give me some nice West Coast love, even though I'm an East Coast boy. But it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
All right, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Everybody make some noise for Golden Boy. And we still got a lot more of that Valiant and match going. So we're going to go ahead and kick it back to Monty and Doa. Take it away, guys.
All right, thanks, Malik. Hey, it is good to have Golden Boy here, too. Like we said earlier, we're getting the World Cup band back together. It was an epic trip, wasn't it?
It was fantastic, as you said. Literally circumnavigating.
We literally went around the Earth. Yeah, that's true. Not all at once, but over the course of 5 weeks, I believe it was. Yeah, it was crazy. But not as crazy as Valiant, already being one game ahead of Seoul. And we got a sub, Agilities, coming in for Silk Thread.
Makes a lot of sense on Anubis, where we do see Valiant play a lot of dive on attack.
That's right, and Munchkin coming in for Bunny over on the Seoul Dynasty side as we get set for Anubis. And there is one more, Wekid coming in to sub in for Fleta, which may be a bit shocking. I know I'm a little bit surprised, Monty.
I think this is an interesting tactic, but what you have to remember about the Seoul Dynasty is that they don't have, I think, an ideal combination of DPS players to play Anubis, because sure you may want Fleta for that Widowmaker on defense combined with Wekid for the Junkrat, but when you move to attack, sometimes you may need a slightly different combination, and you need that Tracer player in there too. Yeah. And the Tracer play has not been spectacular for Seoul overall. They've been struggling with both Bunny and Munchkin, but this will be interesting. I'm curious if they can pull it off, because the other option is, of course, you have Munchkin in, but you have Fleta, who is not, I think, as strong of a Junkrat as Wekid is. So there's always going to be some trade-offs that you make with the Seoul DPS right now.
Well, I mean, Seoul was even trying Wekid out on the Tracer position in some of their recent matches, too. So right now they're doing a lot of sort of mixing and matching, experimenting with the DPS. And this is a team with definitely some issues these days. I mean, we've already been talking about the support problems they've been having, where they don't seem to have a strong Mercy player on the team, and they've been kind of shuffling it with Guido and Toby and Jaehong, and nothing is working out splendidly just yet. So Seoul's in a weird place right now, and they're so far ahead of everybody else, standings-wise, like game score-wise, that they still have a good chance of taking that third place spot in the stage. But things like this kind of, you know, make you wonder how long they're going to last on Saturday if they do make it to that playoff match.
Yeah, this certainly is, I think, a challenging meta for Seoul Dynasty overall. And you know, the last time we saw them play Anubis was when they got swept by the Valiant, or I mean by the Spitfire, and they didn't take point A, so it was pretty disappointing overall. That may have been the reason behind some of the DPS swaps that we're seeing right now. Valiant, again, they do like to play Tracer Genji dive on this attack. It will be the Mei boost onto the Widow Junkrat defense.
As you often see, Munchkin taking a big chunk out of Fate as he jumps in on that Widowmaker now.
You're not going to be too sad about that, though, because Greaves is going to get a bunch of ult charge, so calculated leap into. They're just charging.
I mean, that's the thing.
They can't take shots at Fate like this, otherwise they're going to fall behind in the support ult economy.
Oh, we talked about that. Really, you know, maybe the Widows should be avoiding the tanks here on Anubis defense point A, because yeah, look at that. Kariv already up to 26% for that ult charge.
Yeah, you got to look for agilities right now. Zunba's actually flying around the back trying to find agilities.
Wekid repositions himself on the other high ground as Valiant comes in, and he already takes out Guido almost immediately. And so Soul in a little bit of trouble. They can't get to him to res him just yet. That's one tick taken by Valiant already. Soul needs to drop. They need to get down there at some point. Otherwise, Valiant's just going to take it.
They're going to be sitting ducks if they
another
drop,
one.
though. Agilities.
You got to do something, and finally agilities. He's like, I don't want to wait anymore, man. I'm just going to come in. I'm going to kill Miro. I'm going to go after the other supports. Yep, Munchkin down. There's Jehong taken out, and Valiant.
But Wekid and Munchkin are turning this around, actually. They're going to stall out with the help of the self-destruct and the remech. Wekid's still on the point, dealing a lot of damage to these tanks. He's going to get another one.
Yeah, and he is doing what he needs to do on this Junkrat to keep his team in it, but they nearly gave up point A right there. I mean, 79.3% already taken by Valiant.
One of the things that is extraordinary about this Soul roster is their ability to stall out points. We saw it on Eichenwald. They will not bat an eye at letting an enemy get 90+% of a point as long as they can buy the maximum amount of time to get their respawns in. And we see it again, effective. Wekid is going to open up with the Riptire here. He wants to get one of the flankers.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe a support if he's lucky. Weki taken out by the Pulse Bomb, and I don't even think he got the DMEC there, no. The healing came in, and meanwhile, he was found.
But that caused the Valkyrie to be popped, so all Valiant have to do is wait now, Noah.
Yep, that's
just
right.
Just wait for the Valkyrie to be over. Soon gets a crucial pick, and they're just going to be patient.
Yep, that's right. Munchkin trying to get back on the other high ground, putting some bullets into Fate in the meantime. Gets jumped on, though. There's Soon, he's right there. Oh, a little bit of help from the D.Va, and that's going to be Munchkin falling. Transcendence coming in from Guido. Not soon enough to save the Widowmaker, though. Jehong has to use a res, and here comes Agilities with that aggressive Dragon Blade. We see it all the time from this guy. Gets Jehong, gets Wicked. Guido falls as well, and Valiant going to take an easy point A now.
Yes, they are. The price was pretty intense, though. They're not going to have an ability to snowball off of ult economy onto point B.
Right.
Dumping everything they had, but great patience from the Valiant. Just forcing the Valkyrie and then making sure they were in a better position to push forward with a Valkyrie of their own. Soon is on the hunt.
Yep. As usual, sneaking around in the back, trying to land that Pulse Bomb. Going to throw it in at Miro. Didn't really land it that time around. And gets taken out by Weki. So the push going a little bit rough for Valiant right off the bat here.
Yeah, they need to get out.
Yep, that's
Envy is going to be DMAC. That's a huge DMAC at the end. Wekid.
It's a big stagger.
Yeah, with the concussion mines at the end means that Envy's going to have to go all the way back, swap off, reset his ult, and get back on the D.Va. So consequential, the fade away DMAC there.
Well, it's a good, 15, 20 seconds now that Valiant loses out of the time bank. They can't attack, and Soul, meanwhile, builds up a lot of ultimates. So if they can play this one efficiently, they can hold pretty long, and Weki getting picks on Soon certainly does help.
I mean, that's just some spam with a Mercy damage boost right there. Soon, fortunately, in the wrong place at the wrong time as he tried to get the flank.
Yep, somewhere Jake is like smiling and nodding. Like, yeah, that's how you do it. Guido getting pretty close to Transcendence, so the ult advantage definitely in Soul's corner right now.
It will probably be for a while, too.
Yeah.
Wekid maybe the first to use his right now.
Well, 3:50 on the clock for Valiant, so they got some time. And here comes a Riptire. Wekid, oh, he finds Soon. He's like, not twice. No, not going to get me twice.
Munchkin tried the flank there, but he dies to Unko, who has been having a great day so far. Valiant have been swapping off the Mercy between Kariv and Unko, and I think it's definitely working better today with Kariv on the Mercy because we're seeing a lot of big Zen plays from Unko.
I'm so happy to see Unko back, and that's why, man. He can take care of himself on the Zen, which is huge. Meanwhile, Zunba needs a little bit of help. Oh, he can't get back. He can't get back to spawn and get the health back. He uses that self-destruct just to get the mech because he knows Valiant is going to come in. Unko and Fate already picking up kills, though, so Soul in a little bit of trouble. Jehong forced to use that Valkyrie immediately here, and Unko can just wait. He can just bide his time. Has some shots onto Jehong already, and here comes the Dragon Blade again. This time, Guido ready. with that Transcendence, but it doesn't save Wicked or Miro. Never mind. It is going fine for Valiant.
And they still have a trance of their own. Unko sitting on it right now. They can use it as the members of Seoul trickle in.
Yep, that's right. Zunba de-lifed as well. A stun, but Jaehong on that Doomfist now, not lasting any time at all. And Valiant looks like they're gonna roll this one to maybe 2 points if they can just handle a bit more of the respawns. They're getting so close, and they've got it. 2:20 on the clock, a very solid attack run for the Valiant.
Valiant's ult economy has been excellent today so far.
Yeah.
Really holding on, trying to strike when they know Seoul is weak, undeterred by the fact that Seoul has had on their defensive runs some large ult economy advantages at times, but they're just slowly wearing away at that and then striking while the iron is hot. Very well done when it comes to communication by the Valiant.
Speaking of communication,
is going to give a little fix there to Agility's microphone. Maybe he's not quite loud enough in those comms.
I want to be able to hear him. Creeve's like, talk up, man. Tell us when you're going in with that crazy Dragon Blade.
Wow.
The answer to that question is all the time.
Always and first.
Whenever
you're
it's
Agilities.
That's right, 1v6, I got this. I'm Agilities. Yeah. It's worked so far, though. Good start for the LA Valiant. Now Seoul Dynasty gets their chance to attack. Scarab Craft Shop. What do you think they make there?
I don't know. Well, they're probably not scarabs, but...
I mean, there's a lot of Omnic parts sitting around, so... Robo-scarabs?
Robotic scarabs?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd be a little bit nervous having a shop so close to a dangerous Omnic presence.
Yeah.
Like Anubis.
I guess. I don't really know anything about the Omnic Anubis, Doa.
Well, Scooby-Dooby-Doo! I don't know what else to say there.
That's intense.
Wow.
It's a lot of jackal face in the camera.
I guess. Jackal face, no space.
All right, so Valiants soon on the Widowmaker, and Agility's on the Junkrat as expected. Meanwhile, Seoul is going to be running a pure dive composition. So,
yeah. All right.
We're actually seeing basically both teams running the same things on attack and defense. Execution from Valiant was good in the last round. And it will be Wicked on the Genji. Typically, we see Fleta play that hero on the side of Seoul.
The aggression is real, but soon trying to be ready for Wicked. Here comes Zunba. He's going to take that Venom Mine first. Hopefully giving his Genji a bit of a chance to come in more safely. But Zun just going over on the other side now.
They've set a big arc around this. Miro is hiding on the low ground, actually. Munchkin is trying to force them out of this room, but he's...
Oh, that's not going to work. Soon finds a headshot. Push back a little bit, but Wicked, I don't know how long he's going to last here, man. It's a duel. Wicked finds the kill, gets Soon and Kareem. That's a great start for Seoul. And poor Fate on his own up on the high ground there. He's going to be pushed back, and it's looking like a good point A for Seoul. Envy has a chance to delay here. Maybe Valiant can turn this around, but that's an immediate DMAC, and it looks like they might just give this one over, although Fate walked back in. So that's going to be a late death and a chance for some momentum now for Seoul Dynasty.
Boy, this is really bad for the Valiant. They have Seoul has charged both support ultimates. Fate has to switch to the Winston, and Guido is going to one-shot Agility.
Man, channeled his inner Jaehong there, and Soon in the back lines being annoying, but Seoul gonna get onto point B really fast here. We'll see what they can do. Both Winstons falling here. Guido firing away, looking for a kill onto Soon. Got that Transcendence, gonna use it at the last second to keep everybody up again. Both Zens popping their ultimates, but here comes the Dragon Blade. Weki pulling it out, cuts down Kareem. First things first. Soon goes, there goes Agilities, and Fate on his own on point B. And Seoul crushing it so far in this attack. They've nearly got it. Can Envy get back in time? He gets on the point. He uses a self-destruct, but there's a Winston bubble around it. Seoul gonna weather that storm. Kareem down again immediately. Zunba the hero, and they are on track to set a very good time, unless Valiant has a pretty crazy defense that they do not. 5:51 on the clock for Seoul, a crushing attack round.
And that's the thing about running the dive comp on attack on a map like Anubis. It is hard to dislodge the Junkrat, Widowmaker, Orisa combination from that high ground. It takes a very precise attack from the side.
Check this
of
out.
the dive team.
But
Let's look at this. I mean, he snuck all the way around too, and you just can't walk into this room when there's a chance here. That's an awesome reflect too.
Yeah, reflecting Junkrat grenades is a pretty good strategy in a tiny room.
Yeah, it worked out really well for them. So it can snowball really hard, right? But you are at a disadvantage because everybody has to come from different angles simultaneously. Otherwise, you can just get absolutely blown up or picked off. And this is an issue because Seoul, the thing with Seoul is that they adapt so quickly to your tactics. And if you give them a lot of time, they will eventually pick you apart. That's what we've seen from this team. You have to overwhelm them, or you have to have a very strong defense where they do not have time to adapt to you.
Right.
Because this is the best team at changing their style to destroy you in this league.
Well, let's see if they've figured out the defense a little bit more here. LA Valiant on the attack with 2:20 in the time bank, and man, they need to make this time count because Seoul has a wealth of time on their side. They need to come in fast and furious here.
We're going to see the exact same thing, except this time the Valiant are going to push through faster. They know they don't have the time to work up to the big ult that they had last time.
Yeah.
Trying to...
Oh, Unko showed his face, and that's all Munchkin needs. I mean, you know, Zenyatta should know what happens with Widowmaker and Omnix.
And you have to be really careful, because Kariv wants to res him, but he also has to go across that open expanse where he knows the crosshair of Munchkin is. So they're just going to let him respawn all the way back at the base.
Yeah. Well, Agility's just poking as much as he can here. Has to wait a little bit. There's a dive coming in. Went after Widowmaker, chased her off the high ground, at least onto the other one anyway. Back taking a lot of damage though. Valiant on the payload, trying to finish off Jaehong. He's really low. Oh, but the kill doesn't come through. Instead, Fate falls on the Valiant side. And can they get there to res him? No, NVD mech. Valiant is going to need to fall back here.
And that time it was only Fate and Envy that were against 2 DPS and the Jaehong on the Mercy in that room, so they didn't have the damage to take anybody else out. They found themselves in a confined space with a bunch of Junkrat grenades.
Yep.
And now Jaehong and Kariv both with the Valkyrie. We're going to see it come out now.
Yeah, they're going to give it a try anyway. Jaehong down, Envy
Jaehong
with a
down.
crucial pick there. That's huge, and there goes Wekid. Munchkin strikes back, demeching Envy. But Agility should have the kill here. Self-destruct not going to accomplish a lot. There goes Zinba, and it looks like Point A may be going the way of Valiant very quickly. Yeah, goodbye Miro. That's Point A. Seoul needs to scramble now to set up a Point B defense.
Yeah, as much going to stay on the Widow. Seoul preserved both of their support ults. They say, okay, we'll let you, we have plenty of time in the bank. We'll let you have this. But so did Kariv. Kariv didn't have an itchy trigger finger on the Valkyrie. They only had to use the Transcendence from Unko.
Yep.
46 seconds. One attack from the Valiant to try and take this.
Let's see what they can do. It's a crucial moment for Valiant.
Wekid has the Riptire too.
Oh, they just lob the Pulse Bomb and it doesn't get anything for Soon. That's rough. They do get Miro though in the end, so the follow-up from the team is decent. Oh, hello, Riptire.
That was such
goes right into it.
That was actually a bait by Wekid.
I guess so, man. He was ready for Soon. Kariv comes in with the res, but he has to leave the rest of his members on the point now. Can Seoul capitalize on this? Can they hold? NVD mech. There goes Zinba though, so both teams out of the action. Dragon Blade coming in, Agility's trying to find targets, and he does. Seoul Dynasty has lost nearly everybody. It's on to Wekid to hold this one. One more time, we're into overtime, and Jaehong has the Valkyrie going. Wekid brought back up again. Junkrat needs to carry for Seoul right here, right now, but Agility cuts him down.
Guido is coming back though on the Soldier 76. Remember, Guido is a DPS player at heart.
Yes, he is. Yep, a lot of DPS experience for this guy. Zunba being chased out there. They're going to find the kills. OT ticking away, and they can't get there. Seoul will hold Valiant to just 1 point in the time bank round. So now if you're Valiant, I think you're sweating a little bit because Seoul has got nearly 6 minutes for their time bank.
The mind games are actually insane, and this is what I'm talking about with Seoul adapting. So that time, Wekid posted himself very far forward on the flank, pulled the Riptire, and then sat it because he soon has been going after Wekid every time he uses the Riptire, and he just kept it next to him, and as soon turned the corner, he killed the Tracer. So you see Wekid and Soon starting to get into each other's heads a little bit with this match.
Well, that's the second time that Wekid's done that to Soon, actually. The first time Soon got him, and Wekid's like, well, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. No, it's not going to happen because my Riptire's going to blow you up. That's about it. So, Seoul on the attack now. All they need to do is take point B to win this map and tie up the series. They've got a lot of time to do that with. It's going to need to be a pretty epic defense from Valiant.
The Valiant have to be a bit concerned because of how precise the dive was onto the high ground in that last map. And are they going to change it up, actually? I do wonder if Jaehong is going to play Ana. He has played Ana on attack on this particular map before.
True.
It wasn't effective, but what Ana can do is if you play... Oh, no, I got excited. Just kidding.
For once, your hype was killed. Wow. Does not happen very often. Well, Seoul on the attack one more time here. Let's see what they can do.
All right, so they are going to play the ult charge game. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out very well for them as Wekid will have to be resurrected instantly.
That's right.
Agility's going to be sitting on quite a bit of ult charge as a result of that damage.
Certainly not a bad thing for Valiant. He's coming around the back now. They tried to dislodge Valiant from the high ground.
It's only the tanks on the close side by Zunba, though. They're still going to go onto the side with the DPS. Envy's going to reposition over there.
He didn't get up on the high ground like he wanted to. Zunba down on the low ground. Agilities does go down, though, but Unko finds the kill onto Jaehong. That is big. Meanwhile, Munchkin fighting for his life. But the rest of his team is kind of falling around him. He gets the kill onto Soon. And so he can still be quite annoying here. Got to get out of there, though.
Yeah, it's still 4 members of the Valiant on the point, though. So Munchkin's going to have to fall back. Rest of his team respawning. Can he stop some of the respawns coming in on the side of the Valiant? He's not going to try. Agilities is going to get back up to rejoin his teammates.
Sure enough.
Soon is coming through.
I am healed.
Oh, good. You're healed. Wonderful. Wekid's healed. Now he's got a couple members of Valiant in that little hallway. Opportunity for a dash here, perhaps.
Doesn't.
Nope, going after Kariv in the back lines here. Had to reload, though. Here comes a Riptire. There goes Zunba. Agilities gets the D.Va with that one, and Agilities gets Jaehong as well. And Valiant has been very good these last few fights, finding Jaehong and eliminating him. You know, we talked about Toby and Guido dying a lot on that Mercy, but as far as this particular round goes, Jaehong looking just as vulnerable.
Yes, he is, and Valiant still have a chance here to win this map, even if we go to point B. Still a possibility of a draw, so still everything in the Valiant's favor right now. A lot of time left for Seoul to work with.
Yep.
And just checking behind him. They're mixing up their defense every time. This time they have 3 on the opposite side, so not making it easy for Seoul to read.
Oh, Wekid was waiting. It looked like almost Munchkin was trying to bait him in, and Soon finds a kill anyway. There's a Transcendence coming in. Miro pops that Primal Rage as well. They've already lost Munchkin, though. Soon on the outside of the fight, waiting for a chance to use that Pulse Bomb. They've D-Mech Zunba. He's not going to last too much longer. There he goes. And so Valiant will continue to hold. And now Seoul Dynasty down to 3 minutes here. They're going to keep trying to grind a little bit. Miro, oh, he's gone. Wow. I'm surprised he went back in there. That was a little bit bold for him. There goes Guido. Looks like Seoul is going to reset here.
Seoul was trying to bait out ults from the Valiant. So what they did was as soon as we saw Munchkin go down and Soon win the duel, it was a matter of using the Primal Rage on Miro to see if that they would be fooled into using the Valkyrie, but they weren't. And so the fight continued on. They caught out more members, and it results in a worse stagger actually now for Seoul.
Yeah. 5 ults, although Valiant does have 4 of their own, including that really important Valkyrie. The Riptire coming in, Agilities.
Unko.
Yeah, Unko already finding a kill, though. Munchkin goes down, and yeah, Seoul's not going to get a lot done with this attack.
Well, they've got to back off again, especially as Jaehong will fall soon.
Wow, Valiant.
Cleanup.
Valiant has taken Seoul down to 2 minutes now in the time bank. Seoul needs to make something happen, and this is what we do see from this team. They do let it get down to the wire, but in this situation, you really have to take it earlier. You got to use that time bank.
Well, Valiant isn't getting flustered either. They're holding on to their critical ultimates, and Seoul is playing mind games right now, and simply put, Los Angeles is not falling to them.
Yep. Here we go again. Soul coming around the side, trying to get the back lines. They made a big flank this time. Envy right there to take out Weki. Tsumba falls as well. And although Agilities does get taken out on the Valiant side, Soul short-handed, they're going to use the Valkyrie. This is it. Soul decides this is a push they want to use. Oh, but Soon comes in with the Pulse Bomb. They've got the Transcendence out from Guido now. Soul's not going to have their support ultimates here. They have taken down Unko, so maybe a chance. Yeah, there goes Kareem. Soul starting to make this fight work. They've still got to deal with that high ground, or does the high ground have to deal with them? Looks like Miro's going to jump up there and harass people just a bit. Agilities and Fate still up there for the moment.
Riptire.
Yeah, Riptire coming in. Oh, Guido tried to kill it, but he couldn't do it. He fell instead. And it looks like Soul might be able to grind this one out. Yeah. It was very, very close, but they will finally take point A. And you can see all they need is that first tick of point B, and they will win the map.
The price was so high, though, Doa, and Unko still has a Transcendence. Guido immediately swaps onto the Soldier 76, so Soul wants to use triple DPS here, only that single support to work with.
Well,
he's going to swap. He's going to swap back. So I thought better of it, but that's going to be some time that they don't have, as the switch was denied, apparently, through the comms of the Soul Dynasty.
I don't know about that.
I mean, Wekid has the Dragon Blade, but he has to contend with Unko's
Yeah, Miro down. That's not a good start for Soul as they come in here, and they have less than a minute remaining. Wekid, they got to reset fast, and they are going to stagger Zinba, I think. Yeah, Zinba out of his mech. You can see it. Yep. And that is going to
go
be
all the way back.
Quite the stagger,
yeah. All the way back, unfortunately for him.
Well, they're going to barely have time to get back to the point. Look at this. It's already 30 seconds. Soul needs to get there in a hurry.
And they didn't get what they wanted. Unko, not tricked, holds the trance. They know that the Dragon Blade hasn't been used in some time.
Here we go, 15 seconds remaining. Soul Dynasty, this is a fight they must win if they want to win the map and tie up the series. And they're gonna go in right here, right now. 10 seconds, down to 5. Soul making their move. Right here as Miro dives in. They're gonna chase him into the hallway. They've got him on the point. Transcendence coming in. Zunba demeched almost immediately, though. That's a problem for Soul right off the bat. But maybe Weki can turn it around with the Dragon Blade. We'll see what he can do. Overtime ticking. And they gotta get on the point. Weki go down.
So does Valiant.
Valiant may have this one. Yeah, Fate would too. And Soul, they are not going to be getting any progress on this one. And Valiant somehow manages to hold. That will be a draw for Temple of Anubis.
What a great hold from the Valiant.
Yeah.
I am so impressed. We have not seen a Valiant with this level of communication before, this level of discipline using their ults, and that was the big difference maker in this first couple of games.
Very true. Just to be clear, that was a draw on Temple of Anubis. So Valiant still up one game, 1-0 over Soul Dynasty as we start looking ahead towards halftime. But wow, what a series and what a set of results already. This is the best Valiant that we have seen yet in Overwatch League.
And look at this, we're seeing a lot of these highlights from Agilities playing the Genji well.
Yep, sure did.
And now Valiant is in a place where they can put it away on Control and keep themselves alive in the stage playoffs.
What face indeed. We'll be back right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League. Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. And by T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network.
And we are back in front of this sold-out arena crowd. How you guys doing out there? Pretty amazing first half. Seoul with over 6 minutes on their last push doesn't get the job done. Game 2 ends in a draw, so that means we're entering halftime with LA holding a 1-0 lead. Welcome back to the desk. We got Crumbs and Reinforce one more time for halftime, and let's jump into it. Reinforce, Eichenwald was the map. Toby not in the lineup for Seoul.
Yes, and it feels like they're missing him because the only times that Seoul Dynasty really looked good at all was when Fleta popped off on the Pharah. And he popped off quite well on defense, but then on offense, they really slowed down the tempo, and I think Doa said that overall, like, Fleta is looking so good on this Pharah. But I disagree a bit, because he couldn't find the picks necessary. Seoul Dynasty playing a very slow and methodical style, but they just didn't get the picks necessary.
Well, he did get a lot of picks onto Silk Thread. Just how many? It was 7-1. When the aerial domination war for Fleta. Like, those are insane numbers, but as you're saying, the actual damage dealt from Fleta was really not that much higher than Silk Thread.
As we look at some of these highlights, we should remind everybody how this game played out. The Valiant were on the attack first, and they went to overtime 3 times, but were able to capture all 3 points. What was happening with this Valiant squad? How were they able to edge it out, and why did it take them so long towards the end of each point?
Well, usually we say that Seoul Dynasty is a really clutch team, but it feels like when Toby is not in the lineup, they're missing a part of their shot calling, and so their ultimate management overall was kind of disappointing. So I don't really know what happened, because Guido and Riji Hong couldn't really guide the team forward.
Now, Crumbs, we saw Seoul was on the attack. We thought, all right, they're going to score all 3 points. We're going to see this one go the distance. Instead, Fate steps up and they shut down the push.
Yeah, so Fate actually at the very end just has an amazing Primal Rage here, right at the bridge. So he's able to just threaten with environmental kills on absolutely everybody. And it makes a world of difference. He's just bopping around the other monkeys. But what
he has a really high sensitivity.
Made the difference here was what happened before, and it was Soon, because remember that Soon was just stalling the payload multiple times before, and what that ended up causing was that now when it came down to the wire, the overtime happened on bridge, so the Monkeys threat becomes way higher, and as a result you've got Fate with a game-saving clutch play that was set up minutes in advance.
I agree with both those signs. The meta is better with Fleta, and I do want to meet Farah's dad one day. Let's take it now to game number 2, because the Valiant is up, right? They come out, they get everybody in this crowd all fired up, they score first. But this is when we expect Seoul to show their adaptation. They are so known for watching their enemies, adapting mid-game, and changing the play.
Their adaptations were also very strange here. You wouldn't have expected somebody to take out Fleta, so they put Munchkin and Wakid back in. You know Wakid's got the Junkrat, so it makes sense. But to be honest, Munchkin and Wakid were playing well enough for you to say, hey, it's not that bad with them on the lineup. I can see why they were going with this. However, the one individual player that I want to highlight again that I think should have been taken out is Guido, because when it came down to the Zenyatta versus Zenyatta matchup, it was not close. Unko was just making a world of difference. We have a stat card for that a little bit later, but that hero makes such a big impact that it's surprising. What did you think about that?
Well, actually, I think that I agree with you that Toby should have been in the lineup to really guide the team. And here we have the stat card, of course.
Look at the final blows, 23-5.
Yes.
And look at the deaths.
Yes, I mean, it's a huge difference, right? And I really think it comes down to the playstyle. Bunny was struggling a bit to hit up the support line, and so Uncle gets so much value. It's the exactly same playstyle we saw that New York Excelsior did, where Jonah gets so many picks, and Seoul Dynasty can't really deal with it because they don't have a Tracer on par with Sue.
It's been really fun to watch this matchup, but I have to ask, for all the Seoul fans at home, you had a bigger time bank. You had control of that entire game too. What happened on the final push? How did the Valiant stop them short?
Well, actually, I think that overall, Seoul Dynasty didn't look so impressive at all on Anubis, because the only reason they actually kept the point so fast was because Wakid popped off. But then you saw on the point A, on the second round, Wakid didn't pop off, they got picked off instead. And really because the shot calling was lacking, as we said multiple times so far, I feel like this team is very disoriented unless someone comes out with huge plays from Wakid or
The Valiant just had a much better use of their ultimates. Remember, the Seoul Dynasty were just waiting for 6 ultimates on that final push, which took them about 5 minutes to go for that before figuring out how to cycle these abilities properly, while the Valiant was just going for a couple of drive-bys here, building up, just carefully using ultimates to make sure that they would win the fights that they needed to, and that just bought the whole time for them, so that by the time point 2 happened, you're just going to get a tie, which is not where you want to be here.
I think there was a soon setting in the background. We should catch everybody up at home. If you're just joining us, we were saying this matchup has massive playoff implications. Now that we know it's 1-0 at halftime, all this means, if you're Valiant, you need to win just one more game, either game 3 or game 4. If it happens that way, you are going to lock up this series. And if Valiant wins 3-0, they'll jump over Seoul in the standings. They got Shanghai nipped. You have to think, this is how you paved your way to the playoffs. Houston's behind them, Boston's behind them, Philly is watching as well. Everybody is cheering our green squad. I gotta get the predictions here. Will we see Toby back in the lineup? Does Seoul take the rest of this series, Johnny?
Unless Toby is in the lineup, Seoul is going to lose the next 2 maps for sure. I think they really need Toby's guidance to actually help them out this time around. And sure, his Mercy isn't the best in the world, but his shot calling is so crucial for this team. And then it comes down to Fleta and Wikid to actually pop off and make a difference. But they haven't so far, in my opinion. So Los Angeles Valiant are looking like the better team.
You're calling Valiant. Crumbs, real quick to you. How do you see this playing out? Oasis coming up next.
Only thing that's been impressive has been the individual skill out of Seoul Dynasties. Valiant, I think, has been outclassing them here as Seoul is just lost. I think the Valiant's got this one with you have 2 games to basically take it away. I think those chances are fantastic.
Final week of action here in Stage 1, and this is a massive matchup. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we got the second half between the Valiant and the Dynasty. The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
It's been a tightly contested match here at the Blizzard Arena, but the LA Valiant are up 1-0 after a tight second round, which ended in a draw. But now we're getting ready to hop into the Oasis, so let's not waste any time and throw it on over to Mani and Doa.
All right, thank you, Malik. And yeah, that's right. After 2 maps, Valiant winning the first one, they tie the second one with Seoul Dynasty, and that brings us to a really interesting situation, because I think a lot of people were expecting Valiant to put up a fight today, but now it's really looking like Valiant may actually win this one.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do have more subs as expected. It will be Bunny back in for Munchkin.
Yep, that's right, and Toby coming in for Guido. So they are making the swap. And one more sub on the side of Dynasty. Fleta back in one more time. Wicked gonna be on the bench for the moment.
I think this makes a lot of sense when we talk about Oasis. Obviously, you're bringing back in Toby in case you want to use the Lucio again.
Right.
And also, as the desk mentioned, possibly because they have been missing some of their shot calling. It looked like a lot of the time on Anubis, they were playing for their opponents to make a mistake rather than playing to win or playing proactively. So we will see if that's going to change. And Agility staying in also, I think, to be expected. When he can play the Roadhog so well, sometimes you're going to want that, particularly on University if you go there. So just make sure he can also play that Pharah, of course. So I think we're covering a lot of your bases when it comes to the DPS of the Valiant.
True enough. Well, I do wonder, shot calling wise, on the Seoul side, how things change if Jaehong moves into that Mercy position. Toby said in an interview after their match against London that when Jaehong was out, he was taking over most of the shot calling duties, and that was something that he didn't feel super comfortable with at the time. So if Jaehong is still in, you'd think even if he's been playing the Mercy, he's still doing a lot of the shot calling, but it does change. You're in a very different position flying around the map on Mercy rather than kind of sitting back, getting sort of a wide view of the action as Jaehong a lot of the times, or as Zenyatta, who is synonymous with Jaehong at this point.
That's true, and looks like you'll get your wish, Doa. Jaehong will be back on the Zenyatta. Toby will be taking over Mercy duties. Both these teams are just speed boosting, and then they'll swap to Mercy. NB will be on that Roadhog here on City Center.
That's right. Here we go. Fleta on that Pharah again. Agility's on that on the Valiant side. Miro getting ready to dive into the high ground. Let's see if Seoul can pick up the pace a little bit and get themselves a map win here.
Seoul posting the high ground early. It's only Bunny right now on the point. He'll be there after the control unlocks. Envy going to get a hook onto Miro, but there's no follow-up damage. There's nobody with him.
Well, it's just him by himself, so he'll be able to take a chunk out of Miro, but not get that kill. Meanwhile, Fleta, Orb of Discord on him, so he has to play it a little bit safe here as Valiant trying to flip this point, or take it early rather. Envy does manage to demech Zunba, and Agility has to watch out for some chops from on high. There we go, Fleta. This guy is insane, air to air. Now putting some pressure on the Zen. Unko needing to be a bit careful here, but Dynasty hasn't taken the point quite yet. Still fighting it out with Valiant. Envy does go down though, that's a good start. Jaehong meanwhile, pretty safe in the back lines. He's got Fate demech now, and has that Transcendence just in case he need it to try to secure this point. Soon with Discord on him, has to back away. A little bit too dangerous there. Now Discord is coming in from the Valiant side. They're using the whole hog too, so really pulling out all the stops to try to take this one and get the control percent going early.
Yeah, Kariv had to do a damage control Valkyrie to eliminate some of the picks that had happened earlier on in this fight.
Here we go.
Let's see if he can actually push the Valiant back. Looks like they are going to be swapping over on this point eventually.
Well, nobody's taken it yet. They're still fighting over it. And Seoul finally does get that control percent going, but that was one of the longest first battles I've seen on a control map in a long time.
Valiant will take some solace that they did make Toby use Valk eventually, so that'll reset that ability. Kariv will get a bit of an option on that another air-to-air rocket there, making Mercy's life difficult. It's back to the high ground now for the members of the Dynasty.
True enough. Zunba testing out the center before going back. Now he's going to have to drop down.
Soon got the pulse bomb kill.
That is big. Losing Miro certainly hurts. And Fleta goes down as well. Unko with the headshot there. And now again, Toby falling, dying early on in that fight, and didn't even have the Valkyrie available anyway, but Seoul getting gradually pushed off of this point here, and Valiant gonna flip it right back.
Miro was caught on the flank by himself, soon zipped in, unloaded a clip onto him, slapped the pulse bomb on the monkey, and that was going to be it because there was nobody in range to get the healing down. So Soon has showed up big many times today already, and he pulls it off again.
Yep. Already halfway to another pulse bomb. Takes some time. Oh, he just goes in and takes out Jaehong. Has to avoid Zunba here. He's in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he will go down. But that was a pretty nice kill onto the Zenyatta.
Yeah, you'll take that. Kariv also has the Valkyrie, so he's going to go ahead, bring Soon back up into this engagement.
Yep, Agility's playing in traffic, but he's staying above it all. He's safe for now. Toby falling again. Kariv with the kill this time. Oh, he brings back Envy as well. Valiant holding strong on the point for the moment. Zunba going to get demeched here.
Just about stalling. Miro has used the Primal Rage. He will die eventually. And everybody from the Dynasty has to fall back. Jaehong is getting pummeled towards his base by Fate.
Yeah. Wow. Toby getting close to another Valkyrie, and Jaehong does have Transcendence. So maybe, just maybe, a chance for Soul to take this one back, but Valiant has already built up near 70 control % already.
Yeah, they're going to have a Transcendence too, so
yeah.
He can still play around these abilities and try and push this all the way to 100 in a first point capture.
Well, Bunny has to play anti-flank duty. As Soon has been so dangerous. Throws in another pulse bomb now. Doesn't really get any kills out of that one, though. Fate, meanwhile, just trying to fight it out with Miro. He has to back away for the moment. Bunny did find Unko on the side of that fight, actually, so that's a good kill for Soul.
Fate nearly
down
dead.
too. There we go. Now both supports out of the way. And Soul trying to flip this one back again. Soon goes down to another rocket from Fleta, and Envy just trying to delay as long as he possibly can. But with Jaehong stepping in and getting that one, Soul will get their control % going. But Valiant did get it up to 99%.
And you're going to be totally fine with that if you're the Valiant. You're coming up with another Valkyrie of your own. You certainly have a strength advantage to muscle your way back onto this point and then push it through. That 1% that you need, Soul is going to have to be immaculate in this defense.
Yep, that's right. But it's going to need to be very choosy about that barrage. Oh, unlucky reload. He needed that one more shot, shot rather. What am I saying here? Oh, there it is. How many air-to-air are we going to see today? It's crazy. Kariv with another res, uses a Valkyrie to do it. Meanwhile, on the low ground, Unko with that Transcendence, Agilities dropping the barrage onto the high ground, gets the entire pharmacy. Soul Dynasty in a lot of trouble here. And Valiant will nearly flip it back already. They've just got to deal with a few more. There it is. We're into OT. Self-destruct thrown in by Zunba, but it's not enough to get any kills. Jaehong going to try to sustain on the point with the Transcendence for as long as he possibly can. And maybe Valiant can grind this one out. It's looking okay. Bunny goes down. And with Soul Dynasty kind of streaming onto the point one by one, they're not going to be able to flip it.
Gotta drop down.
Valiant nearly has this one. There we go. They will take the point here on Oasis.
As glorious as that air-to-air kill of Fleta onto Agilities was, Doa, Agilities had the better idea.
Yep.
Because he killed Jaehong. Jaehong had the Transcendence, and meanwhile, Valiant knew that they had the Valkyrie, so that Agilities was going to come right back up. So the target selection, much better for the Valiant at the end of that fight.
Totally. Well, I mean, Fleta has been so impressive on this Pharah, but in the end, you can get all the air-to-air kills you want, and if your team isn't winning the fight down on the low ground, it doesn't make a big difference. So Valiant coming into this one with a ton of strength here as we move on to University. And if Valiant wins this round, they will win the series.
It's going to be quad tank with Soon on the Zarya. Valiant have done this strategy before. Fleta is on the Sombra. I've been wondering where this was. You hack the pack in the middle and charge up the EMP very quickly. So he's going to be running underneath.
Oh, Valiant just rolling in, man. They came in like a wrecking ball. What can they do to Soul? They've got him in the room. They've got Jaehong already. Great start for Valiant.
I've been wondering why we hadn't seen the Sombra. I was actually asking that earlier. Where is the Sombra on University? Because you can have an EMP up for every fight if you hack that pack in the middle and jump off. But that time, Valiant, they realize that they have the Lucio speed boost, so they attack a flank to get a hook and get that initial kill.
With all the health that these tanks have, even with that EMP, is the Sombra going to be good enough? Can they do enough damage?
So what I prefer to see is when you have one of your supports as Sombra instead, and I agree, Dylan. I don't think they are going to have enough damage.
Yeah, that's a concern here. They're going to go for it anyway. Agility's very, very low.
Everybody got hacked. It was a 6-person hack on the side of Soul.
Oh, that is big, and that's going to lead to a decent amount of kills. Not a lot of healing coming in, and Soul capitalizing on that one. They're going to flip it back. So 30% for LA Valiant. Soul flips it back. They get the control percent going, and Jaehong with a parting blow onto Envy on the way out.
Well, if you hit everybody with the hack and you don't have any Zarya bubbles, defense matrix, healing from the Roadhog, yes, then it can work. Are you going to get that every time? Maybe not.
Yeah, that was really the perfect storm for Seoul Dynasty. And Fleta finding that God tier EMP. See if he can get one again soon. He's nearly got it, already up to near 90%. Soon, speaking of him, gets taken out by Toby, booped off the map there. That's not a great start for Valiant. Toby does go down in the process here, but Fleta getting so close to that EMP.
Oh, Bunny. It's gonna fall though, and Fleta's gonna get stunned actually. He gets hit by an Earth Shatter.
Wow, Valiant coming out ahead so far in this fight. Transcendence coming in, but they're gonna need people to actually get kills off of this. Zunba kind of on his own on the point for the moment. Toby firing from the side. Bunny on his own, but you can't do enough damage on those tanks with the Tracer. Here comes another self-destruct.
EMP's there.
On that one. There's the EMP, that's right. No more healing coming in on that Roadhog.
Kareem was hiding around the corner waiting for the EMP, so he pops out and uses the sound barrier.
Perfect usage of that.
Perfect.
Keeps Valiant up. They will maybe flip the point back. They just got to finish off the rest of the members. There we go. Just a few stragglers for Soul, but Valiant does get it back again.
Yeah, they were ready for it that time. Kareev not going to let his sound barrier get canceled out. Instead, protects the members of his team while they are hacked. So no EMP. Fleta is staying on the Sombra.
They're hiding. They're letting Soul come in, and they're going to jump on him, trying to cut him off. But it looks like they will have Miro jump out just in time.
Sound barrier is up for Toby.
Yep, uNKOE nearly has that coalescence with the Moira on the Valiant side of things. Soul coming in now, Soon gets hacked. No Graviton Surge, he's gonna drop down. They're gonna chase, Soon in a lot of trouble, he's taken out. And meanwhile, Agility is just pushing back Soul with that whole hog.
Both of the supports are dead now.
Yep, 70% for Valiant. They've equalized the control percent that Soul's got. Soul charging back on the point from the low ground here. Agility's looking for targets. Fate just swinging away here. That's going to be a kill onto Zunba as he gets DMEC. Fate coming up big here, and Valiant coming very close to beating Seoul Dynasty.
Fleta is hiding on the side of the map of the Valiant spawn. He's coming around the flank right now. He wants to hit the big EMP. They need to approach with the sound barrier now. If they can hit the EMP, Valiant won't be able to use all these ults.
Fleta needs the biggest EMP ever here to turn this one around. There it is, comes in. Did he get enough? Not so sure. Soon did get taken out early here. Self-destruct coming in for Envy now. Pushes people back. Oh, Envy can't get back in the mech. Seoul Dynasty nearly flipped the point already. Agility's back on there, though, trying to find Jaehong. The kill comes in, but Kareev is the one who claims it. Fate taken down, and Soul will flip it. 99% for Valiant, but Dynasty is not done yet.
No, they're not, and Kareev's coming back. He's nearly got a sound barrier. uNKOE with the coalescence, and Fleta had to use that EMP. So Soul's still in pretty bad shape right now.
Yep, that is right. Jaehong over to the Ana last moment. I mean, that biotic grenade against all those tanks could be crucial, and that's what they're going to go for here.
Trying to stall right now. Graviton is down.
Yep, that's right. Oh, and here comes the Earth Shatter. Where are the kills? Sound barrier for Valiant to try to keep people up in the meantime. Coalescence comes in for the Moira. That is it. Seoul Dynasty losing a lot of people in this fight already. Jaehong can't do anything. And it looks like, yeah, as Toby falls, Valiant will flip it back. Bunny can try to delay as much as he possibly can here, but they're going to chase him. Overtime ticking, and Valiant has defeated Seoul Dynasty. They've got enough wins to do it. One more map to go, but this match is already won.
It is won by the Valiant Doa. They did what they needed to do today to keep themselves alive in the stage playoffs.
You know, and somewhere Philly's clapping too here because they needed Valiant to win to keep their hopes alive too. But Valiant certainly came to play today. Best series from them we've seen. and we have one more map. And map score is really important as we look towards the next few days here in the stage.
Absolutely. And now that the Valiant have won, we have so many more possibilities for who is going to take that third spot in our stage playoffs.
The math gets crazy from here on out, guys, but we've got one more map to play. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Intel, the official computer processor of the Overwatch League. T-Mobile, America's best unlimited network. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, guys. LA Valiant has won this match, but this map is important because if the Valiant can beat them, it can beat Seoul on Dorado, they will actually move above Seoul in the standings by map count, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, as expected, after matches, our first tiebreaker is map differential.
Yeah.
And really what the Valiant have done today is they've not only propelled themselves into a great opportunity to reach the stage playoffs and put themselves in the top 3, but they've really kicked down the door, and that door currently has the Houston Outlaws, the Boston Uprising, the Philadelphia Fusion, all flooding in there with them. So it's going to be a crazy remainder of this week now that Seoul has lost a match.
I don't even want to try to do all the math on that, but suffice to say, it's going to be an interesting couple days going forward here. Valiant did take Oasis, and we will move on to Dorado for our final map of the match. Even if Seoul wins this map, they'll still not have won the series. Of course, it is currently 2-0 because we had that tie on Anubis. So Valiant will have more map wins in the 4-map set overall. They are the winners, but again, they want to get this last map win. They want to get ahead of Seoul in the overall standings.
And now, you know, we've been hearing it from us for all of Stage 1 of the Overwatch League. Every map matters.
Yeah.
And this is where I think some of these teams are going to look back and say, what if we had just won a couple more maps here and there?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we have these 4-map series, and sometimes a team goes 3-0, and you're like, oh, well, why do we need to play the 4th map? The other team doesn't have a chance. But this is the situation why that 4th map is actually just as vital as the 3 before it. It's Valiant. Because of their earlier map wins in earlier series. Who knows, maybe some of those wins were in map number 4 on series they lost. All that comes back to matter right here, right now.
And it is going to be the Soldier Tracer defense that we've commonly seen from Seoul on Dorado. This is their preferred setup in their last few matches. Valiant, we shall see what they do. They generally tend to prefer dive attack, which you'd think with agility staying in the lineup that we will see Tracer and Genji together.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Grieve will probably stay on the Widow for one shot, as he usually does.
You'd think they want to use agility on the Junkrat on defense too, probably.
Yep.
We will find out. Seoul Dynasty on the defense first, though. Valiant on the attack, and sure enough, agility's on that Genji, soon on the Tracer. Let's see if Valiant can close this one out with yet another win. As we get things started, only Miro on the high ground of that center building. Zumba joining a little bit later. Now the dive comes in from Valiant. Trying to push the Soul tanks off there. Zumba getting a little bit low. Has to be careful here.
Yeah, actually, Miro and Bunny harassing pretty viciously on the flanks right now.
Yeah, that's an aggressive defense from Seoul before they fall back here.
Yeah, target selection not quite there on the side of the Valiant to take anybody out. Yep. And they will all recollect and regroup inside the choke point.
Yep, crucial part of this early Dorado defense is knowing when to fall back and start focusing on the choke instead of the high ground.
Yeah, they couldn't actually finish off any of the kills. So the point of Seoul doing that is they want to poke with the Soldier and then finish off kills with Tracer and Winston.
Whoa, Fate going aggressive, trying to get onto Fleta in the back line.
Support
goes down, that's right. Toby falls as well. Great fight for Valiant, and they will steamroll Dynasty.
That's diving right back there. And you think that they would know that the dive is coming, right? You expect that from the Valiant. And previously, when we've seen the Dynasty play, they have performed admirably against Genji Tracer teams. But when you run the Soldier instead of the McCree, you don't have that same stopping power that you get with the flashbang.
A very quick, smooth point A from Valiant, and they're going to push up and try to get this aggressive offense going, trying to prevent Seoul Dynasty from setting up on the high ground. Somebody's got to get back there and move the payload, though. Eventually. There we go. Just wanted to try to pressure Seoul away from that high ground for the moment.
Just peeking around the side right now, they will see that everybody's on the high ground. Tactical Visor utilized immediately.
Wow, yeah, Fleta really going ham with that one. Unko does go down. Bunny finds him on the side, and here comes Agilities with the Dragon Blade. Trying to equalize in these kills a little bit. Fleta does take himself out in the end, it looks like, and Agility's trying to demech Zumba, but didn't really get anything out of that Dragon Blade. And Seoul Dynasty going to be winning this fight, it looks like.
He did force the Transcendence, so that's the one thing that we can say for the Valiant on that attack. They are still going to get cleaned up all the way back towards the museum soon. Really getting the drop there onto Bunny. Payload will move a little bit, and maybe they can turn this around right now. It is a 4-on-4 on the payload.
Yeah, Seoul Dynasty diving into the back line, so, but Miro will fall. Didn't have enough support there to keep him alive. There goes Bunny as well. So that last dive for Seoul doesn't work out too well, and now Valiant's going to get a lot of distance on this payload.
Seoul's changing up their tactics. They committed 3 members of the team, Bunny, Zumba, and Miro, just to take out Unko at the start of that last fight. And that left some of their other members open to a counter dive by the Valiant. And the payload just kept on rolling throughout most of that engagement.
Yeah, that's right. Tranquility used as Unko found himself under threat here. As Miro jumped in, looks like there's going to be a self-destruct. Miro trying to get out of this one. Fate's chasing him though.
The tanks from Seoul are going in, but they don't have any healing.
Yeah. All right, Agility's getting in the back lines a little bit. He's gonna Dragon Blade anyway. Unko goes down, does Fate as well. Yep, Agility's taken out, but kills on the other side coming in too. Toby, both Mercies out of the way. So teams fighting each other to a bit of a standstill, and Envy gonna go ahead and reset.
Valiant should have collapsed backwards right there. They had everybody clogged in the choke right from the Seoul Dynasty side. Their supports were unable to get to their tanks. So had they doubled back, I think they had a chance to take out the tanks early and continue their push.
You know, one thing that we've seen from Agilities, I think more than anything else, as Genji on Dorado, is overly aggressive diving with the Dragon Blade. And I feel like we've seen a couple of those already in this round. And as good as he's looked on other maps, this one always has been a little bit of a tough one for him on that hero.
He does go with that very aggressive style, that's for sure.
A little bit over aggressive sometimes, but his team's been following up well this time, so it's been working. Soon brought back up by Kariv here. Oh, but there goes Unko. Bunny striking with that Tracer, throws out the Dragon Blade, gets the stick, but dies to Agilities in the meantime. That payload is moving. And Valiant looks like they're going to get point B.
I mean, Miro used the Primal Rage for no purpose right there. Yeah. And he actually gets staggered at the end of it, too. So even worse for Seoul. Miro couldn't get back on the payload to stall it. And that means that they're not going to have that ability up here with so much time left on the clock that they have to work through to hold on point C.
Yeah. Well, Seoul's defense has looked half-hearted at best here on Dorado so far, and Valiant has taken full advantage of that. Over 3 minutes left in the time bank here. Soon trying to fight it out with Jaehong on that Zen. Maybe try to get that Transcendence out of him. Breathe a little bit low, gets back to his team. No, Zunba finds the kill instead. And so Dynasty with a couple kills. They're gonna push Valiant back. But Valiant's got time, so you're not gonna be too worried about this.
We're gonna get the D-Mech at the end of this one. Envy leaping away, and no, he will provide some much needed ult charge to Kariv instead.
Yeah.
At the end of the fight. So Seoul going to reset now, taking control of the high ground. Bunny operating on the opposite side of the point from the rest of his team.
Well, Toby's nearly got his Valkyrie too, so he's a little bit ahead in that category. They'll definitely be needing that sooner rather than later. And now the dive comes in. Seoul trying to get in the back lines. That's going to be a self-destruct planted by Zunba. Right in the entrance. Envy is stuck. Still has some help. Manages to come back and take out Bunny. Unko in trouble. He will fall, but the D-Mech on Zunba comes in anyway. Somehow Envy survived through all of this with not much health left. That's going to be Valiant coming out a little bit ahead on this fight. Miro's still on the payload, though, to slow things down as much as he possibly can. There's a Primal Rage. And Jaehong in a little bit of trouble. Reflect. Agilities with that kill. Toby went down too. Agilities actually got back and killed both supports for Dynasty.
Honestly, Miro's Primal Rages have left a lot to be desired so far tonight, though. And again, you see an ultimate that you'd probably like to have back, especially as your supports go down and you're looking to stop this payload from moving.
Well, Miro's looked a bit off on that Winston for the past few weeks here, and it's not changing on Dorado. Right here, right now, Zunba trying to delay as long as he possibly can on this Zarya, but he will get D-Mech'd, and now with that D-Mech, the Dragon Blade comes out as Seoul Dynasty tries to get people back on the point. Kariv and Unko falling, though, so Seoul maybe might be able to hold this for a little bit longer. Still a minute left for Valiant, but they don't have any ultimates, and Seoul the ones holding the advantage at the moment.
And Jaehong did not use the Transcendence. I think Agilities there was primarily trying to draw that ult out so they could succeed on their next push. Unfortunately, that is not the expected result. And the Valiant now have very long odds to complete this push, but they've nearly gotten it there all the same.
Yeah. Even if they don't complete it, they've still put Seoul in a little bit of a tricky spot, but Bunny looks to
once again Unko. Oh, he dies!
Wow, and the Pulse Bomb doesn't reach Unko either. They were so ready. Oh, and Soon! Sneaky Soon Man pushing that payload nearly to the end of it. Whoa, that would have been embarrassing. But that does give Valiant a chance to jump back on again. Zunba D-Mech, he's gonna pop that self-destruct. Oh,
Soon gets two!
Double kill with the Pulse Bomb. Valiant not done yet at all. The payload is right there, man. If they can clear Miro out, they might be able to do this. They do. And Valiant will take 3 points, really due to Soon yet again stealthily moving that payload forward.
He's just a thief that steals time, Noah. He's a thief that steals meters. And not only that, but it disrupted Seoul's defense because they all panicked and had to go back. Watch this, too. He's going to get the pulse bomb on the mini D.Va.
Perfect.
And that just runs straight into Toby. Soon disrupted the defense, then got the critical pulse bomb, and that is why the Valiants were able to take that last point.
I mean, yeah, at some point, somebody's going to have to go, hey, where's Soon? And the answer is always going to be he's on the payload. He's either
on the
stopping
point.
it, or he's pushing it, or he's capping a point. You got to keep track of Soon every single second he's alive, otherwise this happens.
It's just amazing. His game sense in terms of how objectives are played is really, I think, on another level compared to every other player in Overwatch League.
Yeah. Some frustration on the faces of the Seoul Dynasty players, as this has certainly not been their day, and they would have loved to just kind of go farther in securing their playoff spot with a win over Valiant, and that is not happening. Seoul Dynasty really kind of having a rough end of the stage here, no matter how things shake out over the next few days.
Yeah, I think that you sometimes get the big plays with Bunny. You know, he tried to go after that play onto Unko. Unko won the duel, and it was the French side of the Valiant that were responsible for basically all the clutch plays on that last point. Really amazing to see.
There you go. You got to be careful when you're soldiering, just swinging that gun around like that. That does not look
That's not responsible gun control, by the way.
Soldier 76, you are old enough to know that you do not just swing around a pulse rifle like that. That is not a good example.
Never aim it at anything you don't intend to shoot.
Mr. Soldier. I am so disappointed. Here we go. Seoul Dynasty on the attack. And they've got to get it there to try to force this to time bank now. Can Valiant end this series right here, right now?
They're going to be playing with the Tracer and the Soldier, but
wow,
we'll get a kill onto the tank. And that's not a resurrectable tank, so they're going to have to fall all the way back now and wait for the respawn.
Well, it almost looked like he was aiming at Unko, and Fate came in to take one for the team there. Threw himself in front of VIP Unko there. He's like, he just got back into action, don't hurt him.
All right, Fate's back, so now the Valiant can make their stand.
Yep, that's the plan. Flutter looking for a few more shots, really gunning for Unko here. Meanwhile, Zunba pushed back, isolated, carved away from the rest of his team and demeched.
They're gonna try and wrap around the side right now, but Envy still gonna have to fall back.
Yeah.
And Seoul, they have the infra sight up, but that's about it. Pulse Bomb not gonna do any work for Soon this time.
Oh, still looking for those shots. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the flank though. Soon could come in at any moment. Now he knows where everybody is though.
They're waiting for Zunba to get his mech back, and Jaehong will. That's a good start to a fight.
Yep. Well, they took our advice.
Oh,
Kareem! Not bad. Agility's taken out. There goes Unko as well. Bunny coming alive here. Gets Envy before the remake too. Oh, Seoul gonna take point A and get a little bit of momentum going here into point B.
Crucial pick. Kareev was chunked out before he started his Valkyrie, and that made it easy for Fleta to get the final scope shot onto him.
Yeah.
Jaehong going to be sitting on the payload right now as we take a look at Fleta's perspective from that.
Check out the end of point A here.
You can see the initial shot and then the follow-up flick. Beautiful.
Right as Kareev popped Valkyrie too. Crucial kill for Seoul. Gonna try to get a little bit of presence on the high ground now.
It'll be Genji now for Agilities. Kareev in the front again.
Oh man, Zunba so ready for that one. Oh, they're gonna go after the Mercy on the other side though too. Toby in a little bit of trouble. Big aggression from Valiant. Zunba just gonna throw the self-destruct in there. No kills out of that one, but he does get his mech back. Just in time, and a kill on Agilities on the way out. That feels good.
Everybody's chunked out right now. Just Fate and Soon on the payload.
Oh, rockets are good. And Fate will fall. That payload has not been slowed down too much yet.
Yeah, Flutter with the big stagger at the end too. He had ran all the way forward to try and catch Envy on the far side of the map, and gonna wait for him to respawn. Valiant still gonna be okay here to contest at the end of B.
Oh, so Soon's not the only sneaky one. He ran right past Bunny there.
Ooh, they're gonna walk through this door. Ooh, he's patient.
Oh, he got
forces
the
the trans.
Transcendence.
Very nice.
That is big. Unko using it early. I think that Zen out is nice. There goes Fate. Fleta finds that kill. Oh, a stick onto Envy. Can they get the D-Mech? They can, but there's the self-destruct now. D.Va ult used. Fleta finding a couple kills. Envy can't get back in his mech because he's back in spawn. And Soul really pushing fast through A and B now.
That was such a great read from Bunny.
Yeah.
Baited that out and holds on to the pulse bomb, to D-Mech at the same time. Forced the self-destruct. That was 2 ults forced by Bunny for just some smart play.
Yeah, another kill onto Unko. As we saw a little bit ago, Seoul Dynasty coming into point C. They've got 4 minutes to try to push through, and they've got a chance here to get a good time bank score if they can keep the momentum going.
And Fleta just stays on the Widowmaker, rarely seen on this last point.
Oh, Toby has to pop Valk to bring Jaehong back up again. Envy D-Mech here, and that's going to give Fleta a real good opportunity to find some more kills, but he doesn't even need a man. Zunba's just going crazy here.
Yeah, they're going to try and hunt down Unko too. They're going to get him.
There's another one.
Well, this is really good for Seoul now.
Yeah, look at the positioning they've got. They've really got the spawns covered for Valiant.
And Miro and Bunny are on the opposite side of the point, so they're waiting for this to jump in. They want to kill some more supports.
Yep.
They want to kill Kareem.
Ooh, they might be able to do that. Toss the pulse bomb in, but he got back to spawn just in time. Bunny could really have used that. Transcendence coming in for Jaehong. Agilities does fall. Envy back on the point. They're stalling it out for as long as they can. Soon jumping down onto Fleta. Fleta stays alive though, but Toby does not. So now Agilities open up to kill, get that kill into Fleta. And so with Kareem and that Valkyrie, that Mercy ultimate helps Valiant heal their way to a successful fight here, but Soul's still with a lot of time in the time bank.
Now they have a lot of time, Doa, but they are pretty far behind in ult charge, so Soul gonna have to change everything up now. Fleta will be moving to the Genji. Still enough time left to get a Dragon Blade.
Yep.
And try and finish off this map with a big team wipe, but Valiant gonna be commanding the payload for the next minute or two.
That is the idea. Agility's biding his time. Gonna have to worry about Zimba on the high ground here. Heals coming in from the Mercy. Toby trying to keep his D.Va up. And Zimba getting D-Mech, and now the Dragon Blade comes in. Oh, but they were ready. Miro with the kill there. Zimba's mech did still get taken out. Envy, though, finds the kill onto Toby, who's caught by that self-destruct again.
Now they're gonna back out. They're gonna be happy enough with that, Doa.
Oh yeah, I would.
There's no self-destruct. There's no Dragon Blade, but Unko, a player that in the past, over the history of his career, I've criticized many times for using his ultimate too early. This match today, he has been exceptionally patient.
Yeah.
And that's the second fight in a row. He's made sure that his Transcendence stays up.
Unko's really come back stronger than ever here after having his team be without him for a couple matches. Certainly playing well here today. They've already got the win, but a map win here again would put them ahead of Seoul in the standings. There's a D-Mech onto Zunba. He's going to go and throw out the self-destruct, and they get him before he gets back in the D.Va suit again. And so Seoul already short-handed, but they strike back. Kareem goes down, and with the D-Mech onto Envy, maybe Seoul's got what it takes.
Oh, they get him again!
With the kill onto Zunba, though, and Jaehong down. So Valiant coming back, and it looks like that payload is still moving here, finally stalled out. Seoul trying to find the kill onto Fate.
Wow.
Maybe they've pulled this one out of the fire. Seoul pulls more fights out than we've seen teams do oftentimes.
Yeah, but Kareem's kept his Valkyrie again. I mean, the target selection was superb from Valiant. They punished Zunba twice. Once for the self-destruct, once after he was res. He could never get back in his D.Va suit.
Yep. Jaehong managed to hold on to the Transcendence through that. Down to 25 seconds remaining. This is really going to be the last attack for Seoul. They're not going to have much time for another one if this fails. Fleta fighting it out with Agilities. Here comes the Dragon Blade. Looking for a bit more. The D-Mech onto Envy. That's certainly a good start. There goes Fleta. Agilities, the aggression winning out. Can he get the kill? Maybe. Bunny and Miro down. Toby down. They can't get there. It's OT. Zumba with the D-Mech. Can't get back in though. Unko gets him. Overtime ticking away. And that is it. Valiant will win this series 3-0 and move ahead of Seoul Dynasty in the standing.
That's right. They are now in command of third place. They are, for the moment, our final seed for the stage playoffs, but we have a lot of Overwatch still to play this week, and basically anything could happen now.
What a crazy end, though, to the first day of our final week of Stage 1. Valiant coming out with this huge win over Seoul Dynasty, really taking their fate into their own hands and opening the door for a lot of crazy possibilities. And so many good moments from so many members of this team. I'm already excited about rewatching this match.
This is the best we've seen the Valiant play, I think, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
The coordination seems to have hit another level tonight. Getting Unko and Silk Thread back in the ability to start, actually, in this roster after having some issues with sickness last week. And that has proven really impactful for the Valiant.
LA Valiant coming back with a vengeance. LA 2-0 as teams overall today, so that's not too bad of a result if you're a local fan. Let's send it over to the desk and see what they've got to say about that big win.
Thank you so much, Noah. It's been a great day here in Los Angeles for all the local fans, and what a treat this match was, watching the Valiant upset the Seoul Dynasty. Now, we're going to get to the playoff scenarios just a little bit later, but first we have to recap what happened in this match, and I want to start here, Crumbs, with you on Oasis. Now, coming into this game, we said, all right, are we going to see Toby and Jaehong side by side? That's exactly what we finally got. Fleta was going off with the fire, but still, it's Valiant that scores first.
We did, but I think a big difference maker here was agilities on the Pharah, because first time around when we saw the Pharah v Pharah matchup, Fleta walked away 5 kills to 1. This time around, it was actually agilities that had the advantage in the aerial domination. He was 3-2, so I think that was a big part in them being able to win that first map. And then the second one, a cool strategy from the Dynasty with the Sombra hacking the bottom pack, but the Valiant actually just held strong. They understood how to play around it, especially Kariv utilizing his sound.
Johnny, a surprising result here as it's the Seoul Dynasty falling to the Valiant on Oasis. What was the strategy going into that final round? Because as Crumbs mentioned, they have the Sombra, they're hacking the bottom health pack, but in theory, your best DPS is no longer on the floor to do as much damage.
Yes, exactly, and that is the issue. I think the Sombra can actually work on that stage. We've seen it several times throughout Overwatch history, and it's worked quite well. The thing is, when you put Fleta on the Sombra, you're lacking so much damage to actually deal with these tanks. So I think if you run a Sombra on University, perhaps you need to swap out the support, play a bit more risky. Perhaps you need a Reaper to deal a lot more damage, because you have a Sombra and a Tracer, which usually deals a lot of damage to tanks, but when you're up against a quad tank composition, it's still not enough.
All right, so a bit surprising there. How shocked were you to see Seoul fall in that one?
Well, as we said in halftime, I mean, I expected Valiant to come out on top in the second half, because simply, I don't think that Fleta popped off as much as he usually does, and then, I mean, it did get a lot of picks, but still, I think that Seoul Dynasty look like they're struggling when it comes to the damage dealers. Now,
we knew every single map mattered. In fact, I spent the entirety of Game 4 with our producers going through the different scenarios of what's going to happen if Valiant win, if Seoul wins. Well, for all the Valiant fans, great news. They walk away with the victory, even when it looked like Seoul was going to roll them on the attack. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this game, and it all starts with the Valiant here, Crumbs. Let's go ahead and just jump into this map 4 on Dorado. And I have to get your thoughts coming into the game as it was loading up. What were you thinking about the chances for the Valiant sweeping the 3?
I actually think at this point it was very clear in my mind that the Valiant were going to walk away victorious, because the Seoul Dynasty had already stretched themselves out so thin by putting the Fleta on the Sombra. And to me, that just means that this team is struggling to find its identity, strangely enough. I feel like they have so many players and so many flexible options that they are just not capable of zeroing in on a specific one. And this is reminiscent of the early Houston Outlaws that was struggling so much in the first week. Then they decided, you know what, we're just going to run our core heroes, and then we're going to work from there. I think that's the same treatment that Seoul Dynasty is going to have to self-identified after this game.
What did you learn during this match, Johnny?
Well, I think that Seoul Dynasty, I learned that they just simply can't deal with good support players. Because we saw the same issue versus New York Excelsior, of course, where JJoNak popped off and got so many kills. And Anko in this game, I mean, he was really putting on a stellar performance on the Zenyatta. So I was really impressed by the supports of Los Angeles Valiant. But then again, Seoul Dynasty, I mean, they need to figure out their dive and their tracer play.
Guys with black hats and glasses, are you guys twin brothers? Don't be shy. Come on back. Keep cheering. All right, our two LA teams get the win, but we have to crown the biggest winner in this match. Our player of the match sponsored by Omen by HP. Who is it? It's the Big Monkey. Fate got the job done from the very beginning. We were arguing, should it be Unko? Should it be Soon? We had to give it to this man because he was the core of almost every initiation. And Johnny, downstairs, you were saying that he can play Winston in so many different ways. What is the man's play style?
I think Fate, in my opinion, is a top 3 Winston in the Overwatch League thus far because he can play aggressively, he can play defensively, and he is a shot caller for the team. And he can play the Winston so good, the Reinhardt so good. This guy, I mean, he's on par with Gesture from London Spitfire, in my opinion. And I think their leadership and their patience this series really won them the game. And so Fate, instrumental in this matchup with his shot call.
I like that you highlight that it's the shot calling. We get a couple of glimpses every once in a while at the Valiant shot calling, and it really is his voice leading the team and making the decisions for him. And when you have the position that is the guy that is first to go in, the guy that decides where the fight is going to take place, who is going to be focusing who, it's so important and so useful when the tank is the one that's actually doing it. And I think that makes everything so much easier, and the teamwork and cohesion from the Valiant get to shine through when the shot calling is so much simpler than when you have, say, a DPS doing shot calling.
Go back and watch Fate a little bit later. Perfect chemistry there with Envy as well as Soon, especially if you watch the map Eichenwald. Those dives were just so crisp. Let's wrap up the day, though, by looking back at all 3 matches, and we're going to start things off here. It was Dallas and Shanghai. A lot of people saying, oh, Dallas is back on the rise. This one's going to be a blowout. No, Game 5, Round 3. Can't get any tighter between these two squads. The second match, though, not as close. Gladiators with Surefour in the first 3 edge out the Shock 3-1. And you just saw the biggest surprise of the day. The Valiant take down Seoul Dynasty. They don't drop a single map, and the series score finishes at 3-0. So what does that mean to our standings? Well, here's a look at where we're at currently. Valiant fans in the venue cheering because they see their squad currently in 3rd place, but don't count out Houston. They still have a chance of locking up a spot with wins over London and Boston. Boston can get themselves in with a +6 map ratio. That means most likely a 4-0, a 3-1, or 3-0 in their later series. And Philly, they need a lot of help, but it's still possible. 7 teams in the running right now, 3 spots on the line, and the biggest match is going down tomorrow, 6 p.m. All eyes will be on the Houston Outlaws. Can they pull off the upset over the London Spitfire? You know Seoul Dynasty will be cheering on the Spitfire squad. It's been an amazing day. The desk is tired, but big shout out to everyone here on production, everyone that came out for today. This is just day 1 of week 5, and it gets even better with Golden Boy on the mic tomorrow. We'll see you then.